Hi, it's it's Karynjean. Welcome back to the studio. If it's your first time here today, welcome and thank you so much for being here. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. We are continuing to work on the huge 12 by 12 journal. And this paper, I love this paper, but it was bothering me with this layout. So what I've done is, let's take a look at what I've done. I'll show you that in a second. We have, let's get it here. We have two signatures. Okay. And these are the pieces I'm going to hinge. That's what probably I have over here too, is what I'm going to hinge. But so we have, each signature has 4 12 by 12 sheets of paper in it. 2 of the 4 are this pale lilac color. So then I have, and all these papers came from the same paper pad, so they are going to coordinate. This one, and then what I did back here is, oh no, that's the same one, that one, right? Okay. So those are those. Now why I need, these are 12 by 12, but the book isn't 12 by 12. So it's going to be folded over 2.5 inches. So it's going to be 12 by 9.5, right? And then we're going to hinge it. This is a little bit, some of these pages aren't quite 12, but that's okay. That's how that's going to work. And so we have, and each one is going to have a coloring page, a picture of a painting taken from the Barnes Foundation French painting book, and one of these large envelopes. Okay, so that's that one. This one, this is the coloring page. It's double-sided. I'm trying to get everything double-sided. This is the one I've chosen for here, and they do the close-up, and then there's the envelope. So here we have the plain lilac. Then there's this one. Now this is a purple themed journal. Of course there's more than just purple in it, but it's mainly a purple themed journal. This is what I replaced the sheet with. I really didn't want to go with this because it's dark, and it's dark. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, what am I going to do with a large dark page like this anyway, except either collage on it or, you know, put writing space on it or something. So the bulk of this is probably going to be covered. Probably is what I was thinking. So I have, so there are the 2 signatures as they stand at the moment. Now, there are 4 12 by 12 sheets in there. I only have 3 hinge things. So yesterday I pulled out the gel plate and my stencils and stuff, and I was, and my watercolors, and I was messing around. Now this is, I have a pad of Bristol Smooth cardstock, which I absolutely love, especially when you're going to be do ink blending for card fronts. It's wonderful paper. And the pad is 11 by 17. So what I have here is, and so 11 by 17 is 2 8.5 pieces of paper side by side. This is, when I was just messing around with my gel plate, this could be paint, it could be alcohol inks. I don't remember, it was yesterday, who knows. And I do have this one stencil that I was playing around with on this. So I know this is not, it doesn't feel like paint, because paint always leaves a texture, at least in my gel printing, because I'm not very good at it. And then this was just, I don't think it was alcohol inks. It was probably watercolors or something. And I just, on the stencil, and that's the opposite, the reverse of the stencil, as you can see, right? There are those lines, and then here it's the opposite. What is that? The negative print. That's the negative print. And then this one, now that is double-sided. This one is not double-sided. I just took out my purple watercolor paint. I first just brushed the entire background of this. I don't even remember how I was holding. It might have been this way. Brushed the entire background of it with the paint, a watered down version of the paint. Then I placed the stencil, this very same stencil, on top of it, darkened the watercolor paint with, and I added some of my iridescent medium to the watercolor paint so that you can see, well, you probably can't see, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be coming over, but there are some sparklies here. And then also, because of how I dye my paper, I have purple, I have a spray bottle of purple. It's either, you know, it's probably watercolor paint, and I don't know. It's watercolor paints probably. I don't remember what I put in, with some iridescent medium, so I, because of the sparklies, excuse me. And then I was also, you know, I was drying between layers, and then at the end, I just sprayed that down, let it kind of bleed over a little bit, and did some spatters. But the back of this is plain. Now, again, because I realized that a lot of it's going to be covered up. And I'm just making this up as I go. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to be covering up any of these pages with. This here lilac is pale enough that this can be left as journaling space, and maybe the back of some of these, if, you know, you use a dark pen or something. So my options are to, and how big did I? It's not 12 by 12 because the page was only, so it's 12 by 11, 12 by 11. So one of you suggested music page to hinge it, which is a very good idea. The music page that I have is, it would fit. It's a lighter weight than this stuff is, but it's black and white. And I don't know if I don't really want to introduce that. I'm not so sure it would go either with the rest of the stuff. These here are creams. I was trying to stay away from the creams, but when I start introducing the paintings, the cream is coming in. So I have these. Now another option, because this is, well, that just basically made mud. This is paint though, and the texture, I don't like the texture of paint. This is acrylic paints. This is, I like this very much, and probably it's on a heavier cardstock. Probably what I'm going to do is, and this is from the gel plate with acrylic paint, I might just make a copy of this, a digital, just run a copy of it on my printer so that I have the colors but not the texture, because I'm not fond of the texture. And as you can see, this here is the opposite, right? The negative and the positive. This is acrylic paint through the gel plate again. So, and this is just regular paperweight. This is cardstock. So because it's 8.5 by 11, I could use something like this. They're all one-sided though to hinge it, right? This is alcohol inks on paper. And that is just, you know, just trying to get all the ghost prints up. So that's what all this is. Not sure I'm going to use it here. And so I'm going to use these. I'm going to use these in here. Now, I am going to put these aside though for the time being, because we still have to finish putting this together. Put that over there. Again, as you can see, all my watercolors and stuff. So, what is that? That's a bump. Not quite sure what. Might have been where the bag, you know how sometimes they glue the bags inside in the box just to keep them there. So we first have to finish the frame of this. Figure out what I'm going to be covering it with. Now I am going to be doing an exposed spine, and I'm going to do it the way Louisa Hensel did hers, with like a little bit of crisscross. It's not a corset stitch, but it's something similar to that. It also keeps it in very strong. I might actually do that with very narrow ribbon as opposed to my wax thread. But we still need to figure this out. Now, what am I going to cover it with? Of course, I have plenty of fabric. I have very large pieces of fabric, because hello. So I can certainly do that. Cover it with fabric. on the outside. I could take that over to the ironing board and do that with the heat and bond. And then the inside covers, I will just use some 12 by 12, you know, cut down a piece of 12 by 12 paper. And then we can use the same fabric that I'm using on the outside to cover the inside spine before we sew in the signatures. So I am eyeing one fabric in particular. Let me pull it over and show it to you. It's purple. It's also very pink. Also, I'm just thinking about this for a moment. Based upon the types of papers that are the printed 12 by 12 cardstock that is in the book, or will be in the book, I should say, right? I'm not sure that that fabric is actually going to go along with this theme. Although I do love that fabric, I don't think it's going to go along with this more modern theme. So, let me see what else I have. Well, isn't this a kick in the pants? I don't have any purple fabric left. I need to go shopping for... I have this. This is my last piece of this. I'm sure there's enough there. This is... Well, it's... I'm not sure that's going to go either. Or this. It has the blues and greens in it, though, which is why I might consider it, but... Ay, ay, ay. I think we're going to have to go with the dark... Jeez. I think I'm going to have to go with this. Let's see if I have enough of it. Yes, I have enough of it. That's what it's going to have to be. All right. Okay, well, there we go. I am going to cover this with this, and I will be back. Okay, it is covered. And usually, I also put the spine cover in. I usually don't do that until after I put paper down, but I just wanted to get it all done while I was over there. So the next step is to actually cover the spines. Let me move this away for the moment. And I think I said I was going to cover it in this pale, this is the Dollar Tree paper. But I also have dark purple I can cover it in. But I think we'll do this Dollar Tree paper. Now this is 9.5 if I remember correctly, or let's take a look and see where the bend is. Bendy parts, 9 3/4. So I'm going to cut this down to 9.5. 9.5 to 2.5 inches. I'm cutting 2.5 inches off. 2.5 inches. I'm going to do them both together. It's fine. 2.5 inches. Scraps. Hello. And now, how am I going to... Did I cut it crooked? If I cut it crooked, that looks crooked. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Is it crooked? I also need to take a little bit off of, now this is 12 and it's, well, it looks like, this looks, I'm going to take an inch off of this. It's a little bit more than either I did not measure that correctly, or I did not measure, or these are not quite to size. And it's Dollar Tree paper, so there's that too. I need to take a little bit more off of this on the side. Okay. And it is not, well, it is a little crooked. Okay, I'm going to take off 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to take it off there. Let's see how we do. And because I was standing at the ironing board with the hot iron for a while, I am starting to sweat. What else is new? So this is our next step, is to cover the inside covers here, and also to put the signatures together. Okay, the question is, oh, also a closure. A closure. Now, I'm thinking, well, this is still kind of, because it is a cereal box, it is thin, and this is very thin, so it really isn't going to have a lot of substance. I was thinking, you know, a fancy closure, like straps or something, right? All right, we'll figure that out later. What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? We can also, because it's the inside covers, we don't need to use this. We can, now that I put it down, we could use anything. We could use single-sided something. Let's go back to the 12 by 12 paper pads. I'll be back. Okay, we have options here. Now, this is beautiful paper, but what I do have here, this is why I buy, if I really like the paper pad, I'll buy more than one copy. I do have 2 of these left, and that's it, right? So we could do that. Beautiful, you know, this is one of my favorites. Not quite sure it's going to go with the theme of that, but this one, let's see what we have in here. No. Isn't that lovely? Well, we're not doing greens, although we could introduce greens, but no. We have this, which, because I'm going to have to cut some of it, I'm not quite sure it's going to, we have this. We have this. We have that. Nope, we have this. Okay. So, I am going to put these in the scrap bucket just for now, just to put them someplace, because I don't have someplace to put them right now. Okay, so I said this is 9 3/4. So I'm going to trim it down to, I don't know, 9. And this is supposed to be 12. Oh, right. So I'm going to take this down to, this is, all right, let's see, 2.5. 2.5 right there. And I'm going to do 1 inch this way. That might be too much, but I'm doing 1 inch this way. That's a 1/2 inch on the, I'm doing 1 inch, 1/2 inch on the top and the bottom. It might be a little bit too much. I might need to make this a little bit more narrow. Let's take a look and see. See where the bend is. I need to take another 1/2 inch off the side here. And now let's see how that goes. Okay. Now I'm still going back to my original, how am I going to, I think I'm going to have to use Fabrifix simply because of the fabric. that it's going down on top of. Okay. I'm probably going to lose that cap. I know I'm going to lose the cap. Let me put it up there. And oops. The sweat is starting to drip off my glasses. I'm trying to get it over here to the, I don't want to gloop it on the edge, but I want to get it over to the edge. There. It's so big I really can't see the theirs. Okay. And just gonna kind of spread that out. I try to get the sweat away from my glasses. I should have on my ball cap, my Halo, when I was a runner. The brand is called Halo, and I think I've showed it to you before. They make just like sweatbands and ball caps. The ball caps are made out of a wicking material, and they also have a special band in the front that and it's like a silicone, the band is also a wicking material, but then there's like the silicone bar on there, so it, whenever you're sweating and the sweat is going into your face, the bar stops it from going down into your face and your eyes, and it channels it down, it channels it to the side of your face. So especially for me who wears glasses, when I was a runner, that was my biggest problem, is the sweat in my eyes and, you know, dripping off my glasses and everything. And that's when I discovered Halo. I started with just like a sweatband kind of thing. And then I remember one year I emailed my mother and I said, this is what I want for Christmas. The cap was $25. I don't know if it's how much they cost now. It might not have even been that much money. She's like, oh, I love it when people tell me what to get them, which was true, because you never knew what to get. You know, adults, today's society, at least here, for most of us, Christmas is, you know, in our society, if we want something, if our kids need something, we just go out and get it, as opposed to Christmas or birthdays when, or any of those gift-giving holidays when it was, you'd have to wait till Christmas, right? You know, I remember when we were kids, what did we get for Christmas? We got the new bikes, we got the new skis, those kinds of things. You know, our parents thought about money differently. Anyway, so, and yes, I've been losing so much weight that my rings are fitting again, although they're a little bit snug today because I'm sweating, so I'm retaining. This was my grandmother's, and this one, that's just something I bought at an estate sale years ago. Because, hello, purple amethysts. Okay, so there's our, oh, isn't that so pretty? So pretty. Okay, now this is going to get put aside. Hold on, I need to get the glue off of the spreader. Ay, ay, ay. And I might have to go take a little break here because the sweat factor going on right now is not pleasant for me. Okay, I don't need the hingy parts yet. I will do the hingy parts after the book is together. So let's put the hingy parts aside for now. This is a hingy part, this is a hingy part, this is something that's not going in the book. Now, I did say 2.5 inches, but maybe I should do it a little bit more than 2.5 inches. Let's see what we got. The 9 3, maybe I'll do 2 3/4, just to give it a little bit more room, right? Because once you sew it in, you know, it's going to be like maybe over here at that point. So 2 3, we'll cut it down 2 3/4, which will give us a little bit more, because some of these things might not hinge as well. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to score. Okay, so I am going to score these. Make sure they're still all, they're not all, they're supposed to be 12 by 12, but because they're different, they're not all quite 12 by 12. So, but this is 12 inches, so let's go here. So we have, just get my little mini score board thing right here. 2 3/4. 1. And I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and I was on the phone with my sister and with my daughter and with my sister again. It's never a dull moment. My sister's foot has been bothering her for a while. She has rheumatoid arthritis, and so she anyway, she has a broken foot. It's like, well, how'd you do that? I don't know. But those types of things can be because of the rheumatoid arthritis. I scored them. I sewed them in. Don't ask me how I did this, because I know I didn't do it right. And I used ribbon instead of, I thought I had cut too much ribbon. I didn't cut enough. I used ribbon instead of the wax thread, because that's what I decided I wanted to do with this. But so anyway, and I think that the book is not quite 12 inches, because we have a little bit of a gap there, about 1/8 of an inch. But so this is how I did it. And after I did this, I was thinking, well, maybe I should have like alternated the way these are hinged over, but it just became whatever. This is my first attempt at this kind of journal. I will be keeping it for myself. Pretty sure I'll be keeping it for myself. So anyway, so here it all is, and now we get to the hinging part. And actually, considering how heavy this stuff is, and once things get hinged, etc., hold on, sorry, I'm just trying to grab the right things. Depending upon how, it's going to get bulky, as journals do, as my journals certainly do. Now, the question is, what do we want right here? Making sure I have that. Yeah, that's 12 inches. And what we can do is, when we hinge it, I'm not going to hinge the first one this way. I'm going to hinge it this way. And we can, I might want to, I don't know. When I hinge it, do I want to, because this is heavier than this, do I want to keep that as a little side tuck? And we could probably do that with each page. Well, depending upon what it is. We can do it with this, certainly, because this is heavy stock. But the question is, what do we want to put next to this when we first open it, is my question. So there is that, which is very pretty, which is very much in the same line. They're both watercolor. This might be alcohol ink, but it's a paper pad, right? So there's that. We took a look at that one. And we can do the one of our artworks. Let's take a look and see. Now the artwork is going to have to be the artwork. Well, the artwork is not 12 inches. This we know. It's 11 inches. So it's also, well, it is heavier, but it's maybe we'll do the artwork because this purple paper is not as heavy as some of the other cardstock is. So we could do artwork. We can do, let's see what we have here. Well, this is, oh, hold on a second. Let me, right there. Yeah, so there is more of a gap. I'm pulling it all the way over here. It doesn't need to be all the way over here. So there's that. Let's take a look at this again. This is this way. Yeah, that whole thing. Okay. There's the coloring page. There's also the, no, we're not going to put an envelope up front. That's just no. So my choices are, as I'm looking through these right here, leaning, whoops, bear with me just a second, move that along. We can do this. We can put the artwork down. We can put the artwork down. Let's see what happens with, yeah. Okay, we can put the artwork down. I don't think I would not make this a pocket though, because it would be too much on this type of paper. And so, oh look, we're gonna lose some of that. We're actually gonna lose that one. Let's see if we do it on this side. We could do that. I don't want to lose that. We do that, and then this could be, if we do it this way. I don't want to lose any of that picture. All right, I'm gonna have to figure that one out later. So quite honestly, just looking at this and looking at what I'm doing here, I am, I'm not quite sure about those art pages. I mean, yes, I'm going to put them in. This is going to be, that needs to be cut down. Am I putting it on wrong? I'm putting it on wrong. How big is this? 11 inches. It's supposed to be 9.5 inches. Supposed to be 9.5 inches. This is going to have to be cut down. Not an issue. All right, as I'm babbling away here, as I'm babbling away, another option is to, like I said, I don't necessarily want to lose that piece either, is to mount this, but then I would lose the back of it, is to mount this on something else. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, well, quite honestly, I don't know how I want to put these hinges in, these hinge pages in. So I'm going to have to spend some time thinking about that. And so I'm going to end this video here. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you're new, welcome to the studio, and please subscribe. Let your imagination take flight. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.